guys, we are back with another song by Eminem. And which one are we doing today?
Today we're doing Evil Twin.
Mm, I don't know.
You don't know it?
I don't think so. I don't know. Like, we say this all the time. If this is like a real reaction, like I might know this song, I don't know. But based on the title, I don't recognize it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Even if you've heard it, I doubt you would know it well.
Yeah. And the way that we pretty much work, he picks a song. I mean, we're going through his whole discography, but he picks the song and then asks me if I know it. And regardless if I do or if I don't, we still continue with the video
Yeah. So
just to explain for everybody.
yeah. So this is track number 16 off the Marshall Mathers LP2, which I believe on the original version of the album was the final track, meaning like the non-deluxe version. So
Okay.
like this would be the final track, but there's still a handful more songs.
Okay, because of the other version of the album.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a dense song. It's it's not that it's complex, it's just that like there's like a lot going on kind of.
Yeah.
And I mean, as you could guess by the name, Evil Twin, it's Eminem, Slim Shady kind of. So there's a
Okay.
few different things. So there's a decent amount to break down. I we m- it's a long song, but we may only just pause it once.
They'd like that.
Yeah, just because the way the format of the song is like they share a verse and there's only two verses. So yeah, I guess we'll do it that way.
All right, that sounds good.
S-
And this video is sponsored by Chomps. It's so good. Okay, so Chomps is grass-fed or free-range beef, turkey, and there are other flavors. There's venison, beef jerky. It's all good for you ingredients. No, nothing you can't pronounce, nothing where you don't know what it is. And it's good for you, amazing, delicious, super moist. Like it's literally the best jerky stick I've ever eaten. And this is the original flavor. This one's delicious. I love the salt and pepper venison. That one's amazing and so soft as well. And you can use our coupon code. It's with Smith. I'm going to put it down right there. And you will get 10% off all orders and I believe an additional 10% off subscriptions. And you can also, and the link is in the description below. And you can also use this same promo code for SeatGeek where you will receive $20 off your very first purchase of like a concert ticket, sporting event ticket, a ticket for literally anything. And it's a really seamless experience. We used SeatGeek before they even sponsored us, and we used them to go see Kevin Hart, Chris Rock, and Dave Chappelle at Madison Square Garden. The experience was great, no problems. Definitely recommend it. And the link for that's in the description below. Check out our Amazon storefront. Got a lot of cool stuff in there and some discounts on that stuff as well. And the link is also in the description. And don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on all social medias if you want to. Our username's right here for everything. And that's it. Let me put my ear things on and we can get to the show. Or the song. Whatever.
Sure.
It's a show.
All right. Here we go. Evil Twin.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out the difference. But I think the lines are starting to get blurred. I'm in a strange place. I feel like Mace when he gave up the game for his fate. I feel like I'm caged and he's changing restraints. Grim and every stranger in the place while I gaze into space. Cause I'm mentally rearranging his face. I need a change of pace, cause the pace I'm working at's dangerous. There's nowhere to dump this anger. And thanks to this angst, I done quit chicken heads cold turkey and started slowly roasting them. Cause that's where most of my anger is based. Fuck your feelings. I feel like I play for the Saints. I just wanna hurt you, aim for the skanks. Then aim for all these fake Kanye's, Jay's, Wayne's, and the Drakes. I'm frustrated cause ain't no more in sync. Now I'm all out of whack. I'm all out of Backstreet Boys to call out an attack. I'm going all out in this rap shit, and whatever the fallout is, I'm strapped for battle. Suck a duck, crawl out the back. It's a bar fight. Prepare your arsenal. And beware of parcels flying through the air and bottles breaking. Mirrors also, and I ain't stopping till the swear jar's full.
You done called every woman a slut, but you're forgetting Sarah Marshall. Hey,
Oh, my bad, slut. And next time I show up to court, I'll be naked and just wear a lawsuit. Judge be like, that's sharp. How much that motherfucker cost you? Smart ass, you're lucky I don't tear it off you. Jump your bones, you sexy motherfucker. You're so fucking gravy, Marshall. I should start calling you Anjou. Cause all you do is spit them lyrics out the wazoo. Evil twin, take this beat now. I believe people can change, but only for the worse. I could've changed the world if it wasn't for this verse. So satanic came on chains panic, cause they can't even spin back the curse words. Cause they're worse when they're reversed, motherfucker. And these kids are like parrots, they run around the house just like terrorists, screaming fuck shit fuck. A dope with a childish like arrogance. Wild ever since the day I came out, I was like marriage. Fuck that, I'd rather be loud and I like swearing. From the first album, even the gals were like tight lyrics, dreamy eyes, but my fucking mouth was nightmarish. And from the start of it, you felt like you were part of this, and opposition felt the opposite. Sometimes I listen and revisit them old albums often as I can and skim through all them bitches to make sure I keep up with my competition. Hogger of beats, hoarder of rhymes, borderline genius who's bored of his lines, and that sorta defines where I'm at. And the way I feel now, feel like I might just strike first, then ignore the replies. There's darkness closing in. Evil twin. Here it goes again. Evil twin. It controls my pen. That ain't me. When I step out and see my evil twin, he gives me evil grin. But he's just a friend. Evil twin. Pops up now and again. Evil twin. So don't blame me. Evil twin. Blame him. I step out and see my evil twin, he gives me evil.
Yeah, I've never heard this before.
No.
I don't think you've ever played it.
No, I feel like I may have showed you that one part. I don't remember where he talks about spinning the words backwards, but that's all I would have remembered, showing you.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember.
All right. So yeah, this song, it's a lot to take in the first time you hear it. And
Yeah, there's a lot of like, it sounds like he's like spinning the record a lot.
yeah, so honestly, the first few times I heard this song, I don't know if I picked up on the fact that he changed from Eminem to Slim Shady. He literally says, Evil Twin, take over. And like,
Yeah.
he does rap
Yeah, that's
slightly
what I got.
differently.
I got that
Yeah,
from what I was seeing, like, but you also mentioned it in the
before,
beginning, so
yeah.
like if you didn't mention that, I don't know if I would have known that.
Yeah. All right. So it starts off just with him talking. He says, yeah, trying to figure out the difference, but I think the lines are starting to get blurred. So,
Between him and Slim Shady, like he's like, where do
yes.
I begin and where does he end?
Yes. So then he starts off the first verse. He says, I'm in a strange place. I feel like Mace when he gave up the game for his faith. So do you know that reference or not?
I think I know Mace the rapper, but I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, so like shortly after like the peak, with Diddy and everything, he left rap and he became like a pastor and just quit rapping and that was it. He was like
Okay.
preaching and stuff. So that's what he's saying. He's like, I'm in a strange place, and he's equating it to when Mace just left rap all of a sudden,
Like in a new place.
Yeah. And then he continues, he says, I feel like I'm caged in these chains and restraints. So, he's like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
So this is an interesting line. So he says, grim in every stranger in the place while I gaze into space because I'm mentally rearranging his face. So until I heard this song, I didn't know this reference. There's a TV show called Grimm, and there was like these creatures that could
Like the Brothers Grimm.
just called Grimm. I don't know if it's the same thing or
I
not.
think it is.
So apparently there's these creatures that can like change the way they look and stuff.
Like a shapeshifter.
Yeah, and then like apparently some of them could like look into the face of somebody and rearrange and see, I guess, their original form. You know what I mean?
Like where you could see,
Like that they
okay.
changed, right?
Yeah, that like someone isn't who they are coming off as.
Yes, so he says, because I'm mentally rearranging his face. So obviously it's a double entendre. He means he's literally beating him up, but also it's alluding to the show where they can do that. You know what I mean? Rearrange the
Okay.
face and see their original form, I suppose. So yeah, it's a
Interesting.
cool bar. I just have no, you know what I mean? No frame of reference for the show.
Yeah, I don't. I remember when it came out, and I feel like someone had told me that it's not based off of like the Brothers Grimm fairy tales, but like that's why it's called Grimm, like the Brothers
Yeah.
Grimm.
Interesting.
I don't know.
Yes. So then he continues. He says, I need a change of pace because the pace I'm working at is dangerous. There's nowhere to dump this anger. And thanks to this angst, I done quit chicken heads cold turkey and started slowly roasting them because that's where most of my anger is based.
I like how they threw in like what he meant.
Yeah,
They wrote
that's
based.
yes, that's so
So it's
cool.
it was a meat scheme. It's like a chicken turkey scheme.
Yeah. So yeah, he's saying he's literally I nowhere to dump this anger, so he's got all this pent up rage. But then he says he quit chicken heads cold turkey. So like the chicken heads is like whores, women, right?
It's such a strange term.
Yeah, well, it's because the bobbing motion. It's like blowjob,
Oh,
you know. So that's where it comes from.
okay.
Um,
I didn't know that. I just was like, what a weird thing to call someone.
yeah, that's why they call him that. So yes, he does the chicken and then cold turkey. So that's double entendre there twice. You know what I mean? So like if you do something cold turkey, you just stop.
Yeah, like out of nowhere,
Yeah.
no preparation.
And then he goes from cold turkey to roasting, which is like the
Not like
opposite.
cold hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, but so when he says roasting him, he means like, like talking shit.
Yeah, like making fun of them.
This, and then obviously you pointed out that that's where most of my anger is based, which is double entendre.
You baste a turkey or a chicken.
Yes. And a lot of his anger comes from dealing with women, right?
Uh,
So then he says, fuck your feelings. So this kind of almost sounds like fillings, which would go back to the turkey, kind of.
oh, because like you stuff it with like stuffing.
Yeah. Then he says, I feel like I play for the Saints. I just want to hurt you. Aim for the Skanks. So the New Orleans Saints football team, there was a controversy, I forget how many years ago. I mean, this is 2013, so prior to that, where it came out that on their team, they had like this um, thing where if the players were able to hurt the opposing team and get them knocked out of the game, they would get like bonuses and stuff
Like from
from
the
the team, from
ownership.
like within the team. Yeah, I forget. I don't know who was paying it, but yes, there was like incentive to hurt the opposing team and get them, taken out of the game.
Like by the higher ups, not like an agreement amongst the players. Like, hey, like I'll give you $10 if you hurt this
So
guy.
I don't
You know what
know.
I
It
mean?
could be.
Oh,
Yeah, it could be.
because that's, I mean, it's bad either way, but like it's really bad if like your manager is telling you that.
Yeah, of course. I think it was Bounty Gate because it's like
Bounty
bounties.
gate.
Yeah. So he's, referencing that, and then he says aim for the skank. So back to the line where the chicken heads is the basis of all his anger. So he's aiming for them, right? Then he says, then aim for all these fake Kanye's, Jay's, Wayne's, and the Drakes. So
So he's talking about like wannabe rappers who want to be like them. He's not calling all of them fake, right?
I don't think so. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, but no, I don't think so. He's
Okay.
saying the fake ones, the people that are
The
imitating
wannabe
them.
ones.
Yeah. If it
Okay.
was up to him, I think he probably would just diss them all. You know what I'm saying? But he's like, all right, let me get along with these people. Then he says, I'm frustrated because ain't no more in sync. Now I'm all out of whack. So I love that double entendre. So if you're in sync, you would be
Like, like parallel, like you're going together.
yeah, and if you're out of sync, you would be out of whack, right?
Yeah.
So I love that line. And then he continues on a lot of Backstreet Boys to call out an attack. So
So Zen in Sync, Backstreet Boys, and isn't Whack like a band or something? Am I making that up?
I don't know,
They
maybe.
might be. I don't know.
And then he says, I'm going all out in this rap shit, and whatever the fallout is, I'm strapped for battle. And then this line, I saw you left. Suck a duck, crawl out the back. It's a bar fight. Prepare your arsenal.
So this is kind of like a war scheme because he just said fallout, which is kind of like a term,
Yeah,
like a war
yeah.
term. I'm just like, that's so funny.
And
I only know that because like they say that in like the video games that you play, I
yeah,
think.
nuclear fallout and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he does the strap for battle and then the arsenal. So the suck a duck. So that's usually, as far as I know, suck a duck is a play on suck a dick. It's like a nicer way to say it, right? But it's like, and then crawl out the back. It's a bar fight. So I'm not that clear on, I feel like I'm missing something. You know what I mean? When I hear this line. But either way, crawl out the back. It's a bar fight. Prepare your arsenal. And beware of bar stools flying through the air and bottles breaking, mirrors also.
But wait, now I'm trying to figure out what the duck is about.
Well, again, suck a duck is like suck a dick, but then he does it and crawl at the back. It's a bar fight. I don't know. We'll move past it. We could do research later. And then he says, and beware of bar stools flying through the air and bottles breaking, mirrors also. It's crazy. The mirrors also, he somehow rhymes with the other shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So it
Beware of bar
sounds
stools
good.
flying through the air and bottles breaking, mirrors also. Yeah, I don't, it's crazy that he even made it sound anything like rhyming. Then he says, and I ain't stopping until the swear jar's full. And then you see the quotes. He's imitating other people saying, you done called every woman a slut, but you're forgetting Sarah Marshall. And then he emphasizes the Palin in the background.
Which
So,
is crazy because so like forgetting Sarah Marshall, it's a movie,
yes.
and she's like she basically has like been cheating on him and like leaves him for Russell Brand.
Yeah.
And then he says, "You're forgetting Sarah, comma, Marshall. Like you're forgetting Sarah."
Mm,
And then he goes, "Palin," which
yes.
is funny.
So it's not entirely true. So I guess he never called her a slut, but remember he had the porn star that looked like her in his music video? I don't know if you
Sarah
remember that.
Palin? There's no Sarah Palin porn star.
Yeah, there's a porn star that looks like her, and that's why she was popular because like she made herself look like her too.
A
And
porn star made herself look like Sarah Palin, or Sarah Palin made herself look like the
no,
porn star.
she made herself look like Sarah Palin.
Okay.
And Eminem had
That's
her
so
in
weird.
one of his videos. It might have been "We Made You." So he like kind of poked fun at her, but
Yeah.
I guess he never called her a slut necessarily. And then he says, "Oh, my bad, slut," which is funny. So he actually says it finally. And then he says, "And the next time I show up to court, I'll be naked and just wear a lawsuit." So
That's
that's funny.
funny.
So no clothing, play on lawsuit. Judge be like, "That's sharp. How much that motherfucker cost, you smartass? You're lucky if I don't tear it off you." So the judge
To
thinks
tear off
he's,
his skin?
yeah. And she says, and jump your bones. So literally, he does the lawsuit. So he's naked. She's like, I'm going to tear it
Yeah.
off you and then jump your bones. So, like, if she tore
Because
off
if
his
she tore off his
skin,
skin, you'd just be bones.
yeah. And he says, "You sexy motherfucker. You're so fucking gravy, Marshall. I should start calling you Aju." I love
What?
that line. It's
How
very
did it
funny.
get to this point?
What do you mean?
Like where I don't know. Never mind. But yeah, that is a good line.
What were you going to say?
No, just like the judge like being a dick, and then all of a sudden she's like, "Oh, like
Yeah.
yeah, like what?" Like it just came out of
Well,
nowhere.
yeah, he's just saying, like, he's like, oh, she's going to be so attracted to him. And then, yeah, so Aju is like, I guess it's
Yeah, it's like
considered a
a
gravy.
French.
It's like a
It's like a
dip.
consommé.
Yeah, so it's kind of a gravy. But
Yeah,
yeah, it
it's more
works.
of a broth,
Yeah,
but it functions as a gravy.
yeah, like on a French dip. Then, oh, so we continue. She's still talking. Cause alls you do is spit them lyrics out the wazoo, which is cool, which rhymes with Aju. And then he
Mhm.
says, "Evil twin, take this beat now. It's all you." So that was
So
Eminem,
now it goes to Slim.
Slim Shady, yes. And then, so he comes in. He says, "I believe people can change, but only for the worse. I could have changed the world if it wasn't for this verse. So satanic." So it's funny how he goes, "I believe people can change," but then because he's Slim Shady, he says only for the worse. So satanic. Kmart chains panic because they can't even spin back the curse words because they're worse when they're reversed, motherfucker. And then
And then he reverses
yeah, you hear
motherfucker.
motherfucker, and then you hear in like a distorted sound, it says rape your mother. Honestly, I did not. I think I was listening to Spotify one day and I was looking at the lyrics and I saw that and I never caught it. Like, I didn't
That's so
catch the
funny.
rape your mother or kill your parents. Like, I would like went right past me. And then, yeah, it says shit backwards too.
Uh,
Yeah. And then he says, and these kids are like parrots. They run around the house just like terrorists, screaming "fuck, shit, fuck." So he's talking about because the shit that he says, they're like,
yeah, they're
mimicking
like
him like
emulating him.
parrots. Yeah. And then adult with a childish like arrogance. Wild. Ever since the day I came out, I was like, merits, fuck that. I'd rather be loud and I like swearing. So ever since he came out, he's like, oh, I don't need merits. I don't need awards or any of that shit. Like,
Mhm.
I just want to
Do what he wants to do.
be loud and swear.
Yeah.
Then he says, from the first album, even the gals were like tight lyrics, dreamy eyes, but my fucking mouth was nightmarish. So self-explanatory.
Mm.
Oh, here we go. Then he says, and from the start of it, you felt like you were part of this, and opposition felt the opposite. I like the way he says the opposition felt the opposite.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Then he says, sometimes I listen and revisit them old albums often as I can and skim through all of them bitches to make sure I keep up with my competition. He says, haha. So obviously, he is his only competition if he's listening to his old albums and shit. Then he says, Hogger of beats, hoarder of rhymes, borderline genius who's bored of his lines.
That's so funny.
That's a really cool play on borderline, bored of his lines.
Yeah.
Apparently, that line is from his mom was interviewed and referred to him as a borderline genius.
That's so funny.
Yeah. And it's interesting because you could take that borderline two ways, meaning he's like almost a genius, right? Or maybe on the line, or he's got a borderline personality and is a genius.
Yeah.
You know? Yes, so bored of his lines. And that sort of defines where I'm at and the way I feel now. Feel like I might just strike first, then ignore the replies. So, he's not gonna wait. He's just gonna be on the offensive and then ignore what happens. All right. And then we hear the chorus. So the part in parentheses where you hear evil twin, my evil twin, it's actually a sample from his song with Royce the 5'9". It's on the Bad Meets Evil album. It's called the Reunion. And the line that Royce the 5'9" has in that song is he says, I step out and see my evil twin. He gives me an evil grin. So in that song, Royce and M are evil twins.
Okay.
So he's using that sample.
That's funny.
Yeah, so you hear there's darkness closing in. There it goes again. It controls my pen, but that ain't me. It's my evil twin. So Eminem is like, oh, it's not me.
Yeah, just
it's
finding someone to blame it on, like when you're
Yes.
little and you
Yeah.
like break something. You're like, I didn't do it. It was my twin,
Yeah.
my invisible friend.
Mm-hmm.
And then your mom's like, all of a sudden you just have an invisible friend after you break something. It's like, yep.
I told you the story when I was little. For whatever reason, my family, they would call me Jimmy back then. My name is James, obviously, but when I was little, they would call me Jimmy. And I dumped like a bag of chips all over the floor in the kitchen. And my mom came in and yelled and was like, James. And I was like, I didn't do it. Jimmy did it. That was my real response
so funny.
that I thought was going to get me out of trouble. All right, then the rest of the chorus is, but he's just a friend who pops up now and again. So don't blame me. Blame him. It's my evil twin. All right, and that's where we left off.
Yes.
We'll play the rest of the song out. All right, here we go.
So blame me, blame him.
Welcome back to the land of the living, my friend. You have slept for quite some time.
So who's left? Lady Gaga? Mess with the Bieber? Nah, F with Christina. I ain't fucking with either Jessica, neither. Simpson or Album. My album's just sicker than strep with the fever. Get the chloroseptic, Excedrin, Elite, or extra strength talent, all threes. Feel like I'm burning to death, but I'm freezing. Bedridden and destined never to leave the bedroom ever again, like the legend of He. Legend, my suicide note's barely legible. Read the bottom, it's signed by the Joker. Lorena said I never can leave her. She'll sever my wiener, I ever deceive her. Fuck that shit, bitch. Give up my dick for pussy. I be Jerry Mathers. I ever left it to Beaver. Get them titties cut off. Trying to mess with a cleaver. Golly Wally, I fit heat. Register Jesus. Ever since 19946 stressing, it was definitely my destiny. When on the steps I met Deshaun at Osborne. I'd never make it to sophomore. I just wanted to skip school and rap. Used to mop floors, flip burgers, and wash dishes while I wrote rhymes trying to get props for them. Cause I took book smarts and swap for them. They were sleeping, I made them stop snoring. Made him break out the popcorn. Now I've been hip-hop in its tip-top form. Since NWA was blaring through my car windows, leaning on the horn, screaming fuck the police like cop porn. Flipped rap on its ear like I dropped corn. Oh, fuck top 5, bitch. I'm top 4, and that includes Biggie and Pac Whore. And I got an evil twin, so who the fuck you think that 3rd and that 4th spot's for? And crazy as I am, I'm much tamer than him, and I'm nuts. Then again, who the fuck wants a plain Eminem? But no one's insaner than Slim. Look at that evil grin, evil twin. Please come in. What was your name again? faggot. Look who's back with a crab up his ass like a lobster crawled up there. 2 rabbits, a koala bear, and a ball of hair. And you're all aware I don't got it all upstairs. Guess that's why I'm an addict, and it's so small up there. Peace to Whitney, jeez, just hit me that I should call the loony police to come get me. Cause I'm so sick of being the truth. I wish someone finally admit me to a mental hospital with Britney. Oh, LMFAO, no way, ho. Say Baez couldn't beat this rap. OJ, no. Hooray, I'm off the hook like Casey Anthony. Hey, ho. Hey, ho. I sound like I'm trying to sing the fucking chorus to hip hop. Hooray, no. I'm hollering. You got bottoming like an 808. And I whether we're fucking off that instead of your face, so let your low end raise, yo. Tango, what you think, ho? Slow dance in a bowling. You tryna hold hands with your homie? What? You think I'm looking for romance cause I'm lonely? Change that tune. You ain't got a remote chance to control me, ho. I'm only vulnerable when I got a boner. Superman try to fuck me over, it won't hurt. Don't try to fix me, I'm broke, so I don't work. So are you, but you're broke cause you don't work. But all bullshit aside, I hit a stride. Still shady inside, hair every bit as dyed as it used to be when I first introduced y'all to my skittish side and blamed it on him when they tried to criticize. Cause we are the same, bitch.
I could barely focus on that at all because our dog keeps farting and it smells like death.
I can't smell anything.
It smells horrible.
That's so funny. So yeah, we're gonna go through it anyway. So yeah, at the end, obviously he finally admits that we're the same. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in between after the first chorus, there's this sample. Let me see. I have the lyrics on my phone. I actually don't know what this is from. He says, "Welcome back to the land of the living, my friend. You have slept for quite some time."
It sounds like an old time guy.
It's from the 1992 movie Army of Darkness. I don't know the context, but you know.
He must have just been waking up. Well,
Yeah.
Eminem, didn't you tell me that he stopped doing Slim Shady for a while? So he's waking up now.
I don't know if he stopped doing Slim Shady.
I don't know.
I mean, he's back a few years after his rehab stint. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm not really sure
No,
what
then I don't
the
know.
tie-in. So okay, he starts the second verse and he says, "So who's left? Lady Gaga, mess with the Bieber, nah, F with Christina." So self-explanatory. The celebrities he always pokes fun at. Then he says, "I ain't fucking with either Jessica, neither Simpson or Alba. My album's just sicker than strep with the fever." So he does a cool play on Jessica Alba's name, then he does my
Yeah.
album. So he uses her
Oh, I
last
didn't even
name.
notice that part.
Yeah.
I was just like, that's my name.
Yeah.
That's me.
And then so yeah, his album's sicker than strep with the fever.
Ugh,
And
I hate strep.
then he carries that scheme and he says, "Get the chloroseptic, Excedrin, Aleve, or extra strength Tylenol threes." So those are all obviously his albums. So sick. These are all drugs that you could take to get over the sickness.
Chloroseptic is a spray. This
Yeah,
stuff's
for your
so
throat.
gross. It's so gross.
hmm Then he says, "Feel like I'm burning to death, but I'm freezing. Bedridden and destined to never leave the bedroom ever again, like the legend of Heath Ledger." So yeah, the feels like I'm burning to death, but I'm freezing. That sounds like withdrawal. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's what he's alluding to, and then he goes directly into the Heath Ledger reference there. So that could be a reference to drug
his
withdrawal.
overdose. Yeah.
Yeah. So then he does this cool thing. He says like the Legend of Heath Ledger, and then he says my suicide note's barely legible. Read the bottom. It's signed by the Joker. So it's interesting. So he goes from Heath Ledger, who obviously overdosed and died,
Yeah.
right? And then he does barely legible, so ledger, legible kind of, and then read the bottom. It's signed by the Joker. So it's funny that Eminem's saying that Eminem's own suicide note is signed by the Joker.
And then
You know what I
isn't a
mean?
ledger like a written
Yeah.
document
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
something?
yeah. So people like a ledger is usually like a book where you'll keep stuff written in there.
Yeah.
So yeah, that the ledger does tie in with the suicide note for sure. And then he says, Lorena said, "I never can leave her. She'll sever my wiener. I ever deceive her."
Bobbit?
Yeah, so Lorena Bobbitt, she did that.
Because he was cheating on her, right?
I think so.
Did she get charged with that?
I don't remember.
I feel like that was
Think so.
completely warranted.
Yeah. I don't remember if she was convicted or anything. I don't know. So, okay, this
It's
is
a crime of passion.
yeah.
She
So
mad.
so this is a fucking amazing scheme here. So she'll sever my wiener, I ever deceive her, right? And then he says, "Fuck that shit, bitch. Give up my dick for pussy. I'll be Jerry Mathers. I ever left it to Beaver." Okay, so Leave It to Beaver.
I've heard of it, but I don't know anything about it.
So I actually really like that show. So anyway, Beaver Cleaver is the name of the main kid.
That's a name.
Yeah, and
That's a person's name.
yeah, so the actor who played him is Jerry Mathers, right? So he goes from getting the wiener cut off and he says, "Fuck that shit, give up my dick for pussy. I'll be Jerry Mathers if I left it to Beaver."
Because beaver is another term for your vagina.
Yes.
It's
So
a horrible term for a vagina.
yeah. So he does the beaver and then my dick for pussy, right? But then he continues the scheme with Jerry Mathers, and then he says, "Get them titties cut off, trying to mess with the cleaver." So again, beaver cleaver, the cleavers. And then he says, "Golly Wally, I vent, heat registered Jesus." So Wally was his brother's name in the show.
Yeah, I don't understand any of it because I know nothing of that show.
Yeah, so it's a whole Leave It to Beaver scheme, which is crazy. And then I vent heat register Jesus. So he's saying he's vent, and then I guess the heat register, it's Jesus level. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like that, like
Because I
very
was like, I
high.
didn't get that either.
Yeah, like insanely high. Then he says, "Ever since 19946 Dresden, it was my destiny. It was definitely in my destiny when on the steps I met Deshaun at Osborne." So
Is
that's
that his old house
yeah,
address?
yes. And then he says it was his destiny. He met Deshaun at Osborne. So proof.
Mhm.
I'd never make it to sophomore. I just wanted to skip school and rap. Used to mop floors, flip burgers, and wash dishes.
So he didn't finish high school?
No,
He didn't make, so he dropped out as freshman?
ninth grade sounds like it. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, this is all self-explanatory. Those are jobs he had, and he says while I wrote rhymes, trying to get props for them, because I took book smarts and swapped for them. So instead of school, he wanted to, become a good rapper. He says they were sleeping. I made them stop snoring. It's a cool bar. Made them break out the popcorn. Now I've been hip hop in its tip top form since NWA was blaring through my car windows, leaning on the horn, screaming "fuck the police" like cop porn.
That was a funny line.
So yeah, obviously NWA had the song "Fuck the Police" and then play on that. Then he says, "Flipped rap on its ear like I dropped corn." So I like that line, an ear of corn.
Yeah.
It kind of goes a little back to the popcorn, right?
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Scheme.
yes. And then he does, I love this part. He says, "Fuck top five, bitch. I'm top four. And that includes Biggie and Pac whore. And I got an evil twin. So who the fuck you think that third and that fourth spot's for?" So it's interesting. You could read this one of two ways, that Tupac and Biggie are number one and number two,
Yeah,
and
that's what I gather.
Eminem and Slim Shady are three
Three
and
and
four.
four. That's what I gather as well.
However, so if you go back to Till I Collapse, he gives his list.
Yeah.
It goes Reggie, Jay-Z, Tupac and Biggie, Andre from Outkast, Jada Corrupt, Nas,
That was a while ago.
and then me. But my point is, Tupac and Biggie were 3 and 4 on that list. So you could interpret this as him saying Eminem and Slim Shady are 1 and 2, and Tupac and Biggie are 3 and 4.
Maybe.
So either way, it's a cool little scheme. He's saying, he's so good that both of his personalities independently should be in the top 4, which is nice.
That's funny.
Yeah. Then he says, "And crazy as I am, I'm much tamer than him, and I'm nuts. Then again, who the fuck wants a plain Eminem?" So,
Oh, like a brown M&M, like the
non-peanut.
colorful ones?
No, non-peanut.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm allergic to peanuts though.
Yeah, because he literally does the I'm crazy, much tamer than him, and I'm nuts. Then again, who the fuck
Okay.
wants a plain M&M?
I want the plain M&Ms, so I
Yeah,
will take the ones that you don't want.
yeah. So he's obviously saying like I'm crazy, but he's even worse than me, right? And then he says, but no one's insaner than Slim. Look at that. And then you hear the sample again from the reunion with Royce the 5'9", Evil Grin, Evil Twin, Please Come In. What's your name again? So then this is the part where Slim Shady comes in. And he literally does from Hi, My Name Is. He goes, Hi, just like
Um,
that. So he goes, What's your name again? And then Slim Shady says, Hi, faggot. So he's literally making fun of him.
himself,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then he says, Look who's back with the crab up his ass, like a lobster crawled up there, two rabbits, a koala bear, and a ball of hair.
Ew.
So
The ball of hair got me.
a
It's like,
lot of
ew.
stuff crawled up his ass. So he's not happy. And you're all aware I don't got it all upstairs. Guess that's why I'm an attic and it's so small up there.
Okay.
So yeah,
Like an addict.
he says addict like attic, so it sounds like that. And so literally all upstairs, which is typically where the attic is, and it's so small up there, attics are typically small.
Yeah, little tiny
And then
things.
also like, oh, I don't have it all upstairs. I guess that's why I'm addicted to drugs and I don't have a lot going on in my brain, right? Is the
Yeah.
other meaning there. And then he says, so right after the addict mention, he goes, peace to Whitney, which is funny,
Like Whitney
Houston.
Houston?
Yeah,
Okay.
because, she
She
died.
died.
She was an addict. Then he says, geez, it just hit me that I should call the loony police to come get me. So this is a fucking crazy scheme, too. Because I'm so sick of being the truth. I wish someone would finally admit me to a mental hospital with Brittany.
To like admit the truth, but then admit him to a mental hospital with Britney Spears.
Yeah, so he's sick of being the truth.
Yeah.
So I wish someone would finally admit me, like you said, you admit the truth, right? But then he's sick of it, so he'd need to go to the hospital and then mental hospital with Brittany. That's like this is like you hear that, like I could have just blown through it and you'd be like, oh, that's a cool line, whatever. But like when you really think about what the fuck he just did there, it's like, holy shit.
Yeah, it's really
Like
good.
there's a lot of thought that he just
Yeah.
says quickly, you know what I mean? And then he says, oh, LMFAO, no way, ho. Zay Baez could beat this rap. OJ, no. Okay, so he does this cool thing where he says, no way, ho, like HO, right? But he changes it and finishes with Zay Baez. So Jose Baez was Casey Anthony's lawyer. And I
Okay.
think he also ended up representing like maybe Aaron Hernandez. There was a few big people he represented, right? So he does the play on Ho, but then does Jose. He couldn't beat this rap. So he couldn't get, you know, this rap, like literally like his rapping ability,
But
but
then like
like,
as a case.
yes. And then he says,
And OJ couldn't
OJ,
do it.
no. Yeah. So
Hey,
infamously,
Twitter.
yeah. Then he says, hooray, I'm off the hook like Casey Anthony. Hey ho, hey ho. So again, Casey Anthony got off. Jose Baez was a lawyer.
Yeah.
But and then when he says off the hook, I mean like he's so good, right? But then off the hook, she beat the case. And then
I
he's
understand how.
yeah, no. Then he says, I sound like I'm trying to sing the fucking chorus to hip hop hooray, because he did the hey ho. And then he says, No, I'm hollering. You got bottom end like an 808. Okay, so this is a fucking another crazy scheme.
So an 808 is it's a speaker.
It's a drum.
Oh,
Yeah, so 808 drum.
right.
So which I don't even know if it's a real. It might just be one of the computer ones. I don't actually know that for sure if it's based off a real physical drum or if it's just a sound you get in the computer.
I have no
But
idea.
so he says, No, I'm hollering, right? So he's hollering at her. You got bottom end like an 808, right? So bottom end would be like the low end, like bass, right? Like an 808. So you have an S, right? Like an 808, but then bottom end is like what they call it in the music, like the bottom end of
Or
it.
if you look at the number 808 on the side, it kind of looks like a butt,
Does a
right?
little
Like
bit.
it looks like a boobs, like a stomach area, and then a butt.
Yeah, it does. So he continues the scheme. You got bottom end like an 808, and I base whether we're fucking off that instead of your face. So let your low end raise, yo. Okay, so this is a fucking crazy complex scheme here. So you got bottom end like an 808, and I bass, so like bass, like musical bass, right?
Yeah.
But then that's why it's in parentheses because they did it BASE. I base whether we're fucking off of that instead of your face. So he looks at your ass to decide if he's going to have sex with you and not your face, right?
Okay.
Right? You got that part?
Yeah, yeah.
So then, but then he says, I bass, which goes back to the bottom end in the 808 because that's bass. It's bass
Okay.
drum, right?
Yeah.
You got that?
Yeah.
And then he says, let your low end, so let your low end raise,
Your
yo.
butt.
Yeah. So that's a fucking
So he chose her butt. He's saying she's ugly.
well. That's well. He says I base whether we're fucking off of that instead of your face. So I
Oh, okay. No, I was not understanding this right. Okay, yeah.
got it.
So he doesn't care what she looks like as long as her butt's nice.
Yeah. And then he does the let your low end raise, yo. So again, that's another music thing. Then he says tango. What you think, ho? Slow dancing or bowling? You trying to hold hands with your homie? So
Okay.
again, he's hollering. It's like, what the
Hmm.
fuck you think this is? Then he says, what you think I'm looking for? Romance because I'm lonely? Change that tune. You ain't got a remote chance to control me.
Interesting. So it's like a remote scheme or
Yeah.
like a remote. I don't know what kind of scheme to call
Yeah.
that.
So obviously the a remote control. So remote and then control and then
And then
change.
looking for romance, like like scrolling through the channels, and you're like, oh, like where's the rom-coms?
Yeah.
Like, so that's kind of like that. And then like change the tune,
Which you would
remote. That's
yes. And then
interesting.
the remote control, but then he means you don't have a chance to actually control him or what he does. So it's another again, like I said, this song, it's like you listen to it and it's like, oh, it's a cool song, but it's like
Yeah, it's complex.
there's some crazy shit going on here. Then he says, ho, I'm only vulnerable when I got a boner. Superman trying to fuck me over, it won't hurt. So he's saying he's never vulnerable except when, he's horny. And then on the tails of that, he's like, Superman try to fuck me over, it won't hurt. He can't even be hurt by Superman. And then he says, don't try to fix me. I'm broke, so I don't work. So are you, but you're broke because you don't work.
It's
So
funny.
yeah, he's like, oh, I'm a broken person. You can't fix me. And then
Hmm.
you're broke because you don't have money because you don't have a job. And then he says, but all that bullshit aside, I hit a stride, still shady inside, hair every bit as dyed. So he had the blonde hair. Then after he got clean, he came back with black hair.
Like his natural color.
Yeah, but then he dyed it again when this album came out to bring Marshall Mathers LP2 to
Mm.
And then he says, hair every bit as dyed as it used to be when I first introduced y'all to my skittish side and blamed it on him when they tried to criticize. So again, that's him saying like, oh,
Yeah,
you
like a
know.
scapegoat.
And then he says, tried to criticize because we are the same, bitch. So that's his kind of reveal, although we've always known. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, I
but it
doubt
was cool.
there's no way anybody ever thought these are two different people, or that he was actually like a split personality person.
Yeah, I mean, maybe someone could have thought that was his twin or something. I don't
Maybe.
know.
Yes. All right. So, Evil Twin.
But yeah, I never heard that before. It's really good. I like the backwards, and then I noticed that like throughout the song, it kind of makes it sounds like a lot of things going on are backwards. Like it sounds like backwards recordings, like throughout the song, even though it's not. I don't know how to explain that, but like you know what I'm talking about.
I think the
But
beat, yeah.
yeah, it was really good.
Yeah,
It's very impressive.
I think this is a very like underrated, overlooked song, but it's like very complex and he's doing some like really technically difficult shit.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's awesome though. It's very good.
yeah, it's really good.
Yes.
But all right. So don't forget to check out Chomps and SeatGeek in our Amazon storefront. Use our promo code with Smith and like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.
See you. Bye.
Bye.